Welcome back to the Million Dollar Events Podcast. This is the place for leaders to elevate their events, to connect deeper with their communities, and honestly, just get better at leadership. So grab your favorite tea, a journal, and a pen, and we're going to dive into today's episode. All right, so today we are going to be talking about 5 things you can negotiate when you're hosting a conference at a hotel. Now, this is honestly my bread and butter. I have been on the back end of logistical planning for conferences since 2016. Insane. And I see a lot of coaches hosting conferences. I think the pendulum is swinging towards conferences now, and that's a whole other topic to dive into. But I see a lot of people planning their own conferences, and they don't even know what they can ask for when it comes to hosting at a hotel. And so today's episode is all about how you can get free or reduced things which save you money and elevate your experience. So I do have a sweet list going. The first thing I want to talk about is Wi-Fi. Now, sometimes hotels require you to pay for sleeping room Wi-Fi and meeting space Wi-Fi. Now, sometimes with membership benefits, I know Hilton and Marriott, they will allow you to have free or upgraded Wi-Fi in your sleeping room if you're a member with them. But sometimes you have to pay a resort fee to get that, which is absolutely insane. So in your hotel contract, you're going to want to negotiate in the concessions part about having free sleeping room Wi-Fi and free Wi-Fi in the meeting space. When it comes to hosting conferences, Wi-Fi is not necessarily included, and if it's a big enough hotel, then your sleeping room Wi-Fi will not connect in the meeting space. It's something that you have to negotiate with, and a lot of people hosting conferences want to live stream, want to have a digital footprint, want to have PowerPoint presentations or have virtual speakers. And in order to do that, you need Wi-Fi in the meeting space. And usually you have to pay for it. Some of my clients have come up to me and was like, isn't it just like a flipping on a switch? Like you go and say, hey, I want Wi-Fi. Can you turn it on, please? And they think that you can just go and like turn on a router. And at hotels, it's a lot more in depth than that. Usually they have to build your own network, and that could take up to 24 hours. So knowing the formatting of your conference that you're hosting, but also that you need Wi-Fi in your meeting space so you can negotiate that in the concessions of your contract. The second thing is double meeting planner points. I haven't necessarily talked about it a lot, but I traveled for 5 months in Asia in 2022, and at least 1 month of that was completely free. And half of our plane tickets were free as we evented around that part of the world. And it's all thanks to points. So sometimes they'll offer this thing called base points, which is like the bare minimum points that you could get for hosting the conference at a hotel. But you can get double, and sometimes you can get triple. And this is huge when it comes to travel hacking for personal travel. So imagine if you have a couple hundred people staying at the hotel, how much money or how many points that you could get that can convert to free travel. Number 3, complimentary sleeping rooms. Now, these sleeping rooms will not count towards any kind of points that you can get, but most hotels will allow or negotiate one free sleeping room for every 40 or 50. They're called actualized sleeping rooms. So if you have a 100-person conference that's 3 or 4 days, that's essentially 400 rooms. And if you can get one free sleeping room for every 50 rooms booked, actualized, then that's 8 free sleeping room nights, or possibly 2 free sleeping rooms for anybody that you need to have space for that you don't necessarily want to pay more to be there. Usually when I do one-on-one planning, I get the complimentary room. That way my client doesn't have to pay any additional travel expense for that component for me to be on site, and it works out really well. They get an upgraded suite. I get a complimentary room. It's a win-win for both of us. The fourth thing is a 15 to 20% discount on AV, audio visual. Now, this usually only includes the AV that's at the hotel. And what I can tell you right now, there's certain companies that have capitalized the audiovisual market across the lower 48. When I was working with a client, Limitless Financial, they were hosting a 200 or 300 person, I don't remember, it's like 2 years ago, an event down in New Orleans. And this very prominent AV company was charging or quoted $60,000 to have the AV that they wanted during their conference, which included a screen, a projector, a couple of mics, a countdown timer, and a confidence monitor. A confidence monitor just shows the presentation like on a TV screen in front of the stage, so the speaker knows where they're at. It's a little bit higher than basic AV. They weren't asking for crazy things, scaffolding, anything like that, or lighting or anything. And they are still charging them $60,000. And that was just absolutely insane. I went out and found outside AV that were local to the New Orleans area, and they ended up doing the AV for $15,000. All of that to say, when you work with experience, you kind of know what things cost and what things should cost. And if you have to or want to use the hotel AV, you can negotiate a 15 to 25% AV discount inside of your concessions of your hotel contract. So if you did go with the hotel AV situation, you could still see a discount, but even still, gut check that, because there could be an outside AV company that could service your needs for a much, much, much reduced rate. And even if you had to pay like $500 a day to have an outside AV company come in, that's still a significant cost savings. Another thing you can get for free or reduced is free like handling and receiving on boxes. And you might not think that this is a big deal, but somewhere around like 2017, 2018, hotels started charging to receive your boxes. And you want to ship things in advance. You'll want to ship like your lanyards and your badge printing supplies and any kind of swag materials in the bags. And when you order your swag from 7 different companies, it's going to come in at least 7 different boxes. So for an annual I Help plan last year, it had 300 people, and we had over 40 boxes shipped to the hotel. We had 4 like technical boxes. We had multiple boxes with swag material. We had multiple boxes that had the badge printing things. We had another box for trophies and awards. I had these beautiful crystal awards, and all of that came separately. If they're charging $5 or $15 per box, that adds up over time, and you can ask for that as a concession for free inside of the hotel contract. Now, what they might do is say up to 50 pounds. And so you're going to have to be a little mindful of what you ship and how many you ship or something like that. If it's a smaller hotel, they might not have the storage space, so you might have to really consider what are your needs when it comes to shipping and creating a conference that's dreamy and luxury and doesn't hold back, but also falls within the parameter of your budget and the hotel's ability to serve you. I know I said 5 things that you can negotiate, but I do have a 6th bonus that a lot of people don't know that they can do when it comes to planning their conference at a hotel. And you can ask for the group rate, which should be a discounted rate, hotel sleeping room rate per night for your attendees. You can negotiate that to be, it's called plus or minus 3 days. And what that means is, say you're going somewhere, people want a vacation. Say you're going to Vegas or Orlando or Palm Springs or New York City. And people might want to come early or stay late for a good time. They want to do a little sightseeing. You can ask for the group rate to be plus or minus 3 days. So people could come up to 3 days early and people could stay up to 3 days late. at that discounted group rate. It's especially wonderful for an attendee experience and to get people coming back, to get people excited about your event and where they are in the world. And you want people to have a little bit of luxury, a little bit of downtime, even if they're at a conference. Asking for the group rate to be extended plus or minus 3 days really gets people spending more money in their city, spending more money in their hotel. And ultimately, if you have a planner and you have a commission negotiated with the hotel, then that's more money for them and for you because you will get that commission even on those extended dates. Okay, you guys, this was a kind of lengthy episode. It had a lot of nuggets jam-packed in there. So tell me on Instagram or in the YouTube comments, what was your biggest aha moment of these 6 things that you can get discounted when you host a conference at a hotel? What shocked you? And then what was like the light bulb moment? I want to know. If you found this helpful, go ahead and take a screenshot, post it on Instagram stories, tag me, and I'll see you on the next one.